live. I'm going to type in, let's see.
Yeah. I have people coming from literally out of town to break in this cheese from Wisconsin. Yeah.
Hi guys.
I know. My mom's like, this is nothing like I've ever tasted in my life.
I mean, and that's what's great about, like, we have, like, like the hooks and everything, which are phenomenal.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I posted that
Like landmark creamery.
and I've pinned it. Okay, here we go.
Excellent. And then, like you do have, like,
Hi everyone.
Chris Raleigh, he's just like a
Put my
small
glove on.
cheese maker, just like super passionate about, like, specific cheeses.
We'll wait a few minutes as people join.
Find in a lot of, like, Costco places.
Yeah.
Guys, as you join, let us know where you're watching from and what your favorite cheese is. I don't even know your favorite cheese, Ken.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
And it does change daily, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, hi everyone. I have a treat for us today. I am here in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm at Fromagination. Fromagination is a local artisan cheese shop in town, and I have the honor of being here today with Ken, who is the owner. And we're gonna build cheese boards. We'll go through that later, but I want Ken to introduce himself, and I've also asked him to talk through some of his favorite in-season cheeses.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to join everyone today. And yes, cheese is amazing. And because we're in the capital of cheese, on the Capitol Square, we taste cheese daily. So my mood of cheese definitely changes by the season. But I'm going to walk you through some of my favorites. And a classic cheese that should be on most cheese boards, it's become an iconic cheese here in Wisconsin, is Pleasant Ridge Reserve. That cheese is known nationally because it's only made when the cows are grazing on spring and summer milk. So the quality, look at the yellow.
It's a beautiful
color. So this is all grass fed. It's more in the model of a Gruyere style cheese.
Okay.
So it's a little nutty,
Yep.
but an amazing cheese that I think should be on every board.
Yeah, and award-winning.
Award-winning, 3-time best in show.
Yes. Okay.
And then
Pleasant
a
Ridge
new
Reserve.
cheese, a new cheese that we are so excited to carry in our shop is from Blakesville Creamery. Blakesville is located in Wisconsin, in Port Washington.
Okay.
So right on the water. Veronica and her team make amazing washed rind, bloomy rind goat cheeses, and
Okay.
that's what's going to go on my cheese plate today.
Okay.
So
Oh,
this
that's
is a new
beautiful.
addition to Wisconsin because, as you all know, Wisconsin's known for cow's milk.
Yes.
So this is quite special for Veronica to move here from the East Coast and bring her trade of making goat milk cheese.
Can I actually take this up
Oh,
closer
sure.
to the camera because there's like an interesting
And that's actually ripening, so you can actually see the level
All right,
of
guys, I
ripening.
want you to see the inside. You see how the inside looks creamier? It almost looks like a different texture. That's incredible.
Yeah, so that's why shopping at a cheese shop like Fromagination, the cheesemongers are going to tell you what ripeness this is and how many weeks before it's overripe. So that's a key tip. Next,
What
I
else do you
want
have?
to talk about a sheep's milk cheese.
Okay.
This is made by Anna and Anna from Landmark Creamery.
Okay.
And this is an amazing cheese called Anabas, so it's modeled after Spanish sheep's milk cheese
Okay.
in the Basque region that they're making here in Wisconsin. So again, very nutty, totally different than Pleasant Ridge Reserve.
Okay.
Sheep's milk cheese tends to be higher in fat.
Okay.
So this would be another nice addition.
I'll take
on
this
the board.
also up closer. Like what taste-wise, what would you?
I would
what
say
you
it has some butterscotch notes to it, very
Look at
nutty
that.
flavor. It does get oily as it sits out because of the high fat
Uh-huh.
content.
Ken, what would you pair that with if that was on like a cheese board?
So I would pair this with nut crack because
Okay.
of the nuttiness of this.
Okay.
Wisconsin and Madison, we have a great artisan making wonderful pecans. It's
Yes.
called nut crack. Very spicy, but the right addition to
Okay.
balance the flavor
Love
of
that.
this animal.
Okay.
And then next, I want to talk about Dunbarton Blue.
Okay.
This is made by a 4th generation cheesemaker. Chris Raleigh has actually a master cheesemaker, which
Yep.
is the highest level you can receive
Right.
here in Wisconsin.
Like the highest honor,
The
yep.
highest honor. This actually happens to be cave aged, so you can see
That's
the
beautiful.
rind. And it also is inoculated with blue molding. So
Mm-hmm.
not only this is a cheddar, it has a little bit of blue. We call this our gateway blue
Okay.
because the subtleness of the blue
Mhm.
really makes this quite special.
I
So
mean,
it's an
also
American
take this
original.
one And people shouldn't be afraid, obviously, to when they see this. Look how gorgeous that is. Look at that, and look at the rind. That's beautiful. Okay.
So right now, these are kind of my go-to cheeses when we're working with customers, putting together cheese boards. And what's happened during the pandemic, cheese boards have become so popular.
Yes.
And it's amazing how creative these cheese boards are becoming.
Yep.
So we're excited. I'm excited to show you what I do, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to learn from you as well.
Well, thank you so much. And so, one of the questions that I get all the time from people is, how can I build a cheese board on a budget? Because as we all know, after you start kind of building all the components and buying all the ingredients, I mean, it adds up, and your cheese board could be $100 plus.
Easy.
So the question I get all the time is, how can I build a cheese board on a budget? That's what I'm going to show you today, and then Ken is going to show us the opposite.
So we're
Yeah.
kind of doing the budget and no frills. You're having a special occasion, you want to go all out. Either you haven't seen your friends for a while, so why not go all out and really indulge in some wonderful cheese that you
Yeah,
have.
yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go first, and so in my mind, the cheese on a cheese board is the star. So in my opinion, that is where you do not want to skimp. I really believe in supporting your local cheese shops, going to your cheesemongers and asking questions, because they are so knowledgeable, and you can taste samples. You can get as little or as much as you want. So realize, like, you don't have to buy the whole wedge. You can cut off what you need. So in my mind, spend the money on the cheese, but then you save money elsewhere. So we're gonna get going. We're gonna build on this. I'm gonna actually move this over. We're gonna build on this round board right here, and I always like to start with the cheese first. That's kind of my order. And today we are working with. This is Hook's cheddar. This is a Sartori black pepper. What was this one?
Pleasant Ridge Reserve.
Oh, then this is the Pleasant Ridge Reserve. Very nutty. And this one is new to me, but this is Little Lucy Brie. This is farmstead cheese in Bruton, Minnesota. But this is so cute. So again, spend the money on the cheese, and then you can save money on all the accoutrements. So I'm gonna start by placing this on my board, and with something like this, I would not cut this up. I would maybe cut one slice, but then I would add a little cheese knife. Do we have actually a little cheese knife I can add on there? And then, you guys have seen this before, but I love cutting cheeses into kind of longer wedges like this. And we only need a few. But first I kind of visualize where all my cheese is gonna go first. I'm gonna do this. Maybe I'll do this. And the components of my cheese board, I always like to do savory, spicy, sweet, sour, and crunchy. So we're gonna cover all of that with this. Obviously you get the savory from the cheese and the charcuterie. And then we get all of the other notes from the other pieces. So an easy way, like if you've never done a cheese board before, and if it maybe feels overwhelming, start with the cheese, place it down. I like to leave a lot of space in between because that's what we're gonna fill in. So for my first budget saving tip, artisan crackers are delicious, but they're also a little pricey if we're being honest. So if you want to save some money, buy a baguette. I just bought a baguette from the grocery store, cut it up. So instead of like the really nice artisan cheese crackers, I'm laying down a baguette. Same thing, still delicious, but you're saving money there. So we'll add that on. And the The other way you can save money, so I love getting the Marcona almonds. Those are actually my favorite, but they are a little pricey. And then I like to get my olives from the Olive Bar. Those are also really pricey, but so to save money, buy a jar of olives, or you can even buy a can of olives. So we just have these Kalamata pitted olives that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put it here. And we'll place these on. And instead of the Marcona almonds, buy a nut mix. That might sound like blasphemy, but
Sorry.
buy a nut mix. So again, you're spending money on the quality cheeses, but you're saving money with everything else. Everything is still delicious, but you're just finding other ways to go about it. So here's my little nut mix, which is literally just a can of mixed nuts. So again, skip the higher priced almonds and buy a nut mix. So this is great. It has pistachios, cashews, almonds, everything that you need for the crunchy element. And we're gonna put these in. And then the other way that I like to save money, so I love buying what I call it, a log of salami. A log of salami, and they're delicious, but they're also a little bit more pricey. So if I'm on a budget, I will go to the grocery store and buy the salami and prosciutto that's already packaged. So you'll save some money there. And we're gonna try this. So we were talking about the trends that people like to do for cheese boards. Cheese boards blew up last year, and one little trend that I'm sure everybody saw was this Salami Rose so I have this glass. You can also use a wine glass, but you start out by just kind of laying down your salami pieces on top of each other, and it's gonna create, this is a little bit bigger, but we'll make it work. You do want to start with a wine glass is better because it has a narrower mouth or opening, but we're gonna make it work with this, and then it'll create this cool flower-like shape. You can also, if you don't want to go through something like this, you can also just fold your salami into interesting shapes and sizes. But we're gonna do this. And when Ken is building his board, we're gonna take questions.
One more?
A couple more things. I don't think we got the.
Okay.
Three. Right.
So
Okay.
I'll put on a little bit more.
Alright, so I got the red rock in here.
And again, this is, it would have worked better with a glass, but you can still kind of get the same effect. That's pretty, right? So I have my little salami flour there. So again, we saved money by going to the grocery store, buying the salami and prosciutto that's already packaged. We saved money with the olives and the mixed nuts. We saved money with the baguette versus artisan crackers. And one thing that I think you absolutely need to have on a cheese board is fruit. That's where we get our sweetness from. So again, remember we said savory, we said spicy, and actually I'm gonna use, this is, Ken mentioned earlier, nut crack. This is, it's right here. Local in town, shout out to Nutcrack, their firecracker. So this is where I'm gonna get a little heat. We'll add this on here, just a little bit. And then we'll go in with our fresh fruit. So I love adding grapes, and we also have some fresh figs. I think try to grab the fruit that's in season. And if all else fails, you can always get grapes. Grapes or even apples. So we're gonna put, I'm gonna twist this off. I'll just tuck that under. So I have some grapes, and I want to add a little bit of green in here as well. The other element that we want to add on is the sour. So I love adding pickled onions, pickled radishes, pickled cauliflower. Pickling things in Wisconsin is really big, and I love adding cornichons on for kind of this sour, crunchy element. And to save money here, I mean, they're not that expensive, but you could even just buy bread and butter pickles, jarred pickles from the grocery store, and you could save money there. But we're gonna add these on. And then I just kind of fill in all the little spaces. And I think this is a great cheese board on a budget, and this would be great for like 2 or 3 people, maybe 3 or 4 people. But here's my board. And then we're gonna pass it off to Ken, and he's gonna show us the other end. So I'm gonna clear all my stuff.
That looks beautiful.
Thank
Great
you.
job. I love
Thank you.
the salami rose. We're going to have to start making salami roses when we do trays.
I'm gonna put it over here, and then we'll get you
Okay,
centered.
so we're going to go all out with this cheese tray. So the holidays are a time to splurge. Actually, people are getting together again in small groups. They haven't seen friends for a while. So if you really want to splurge, do something special, that's what we're going to start here. And I love all the tips that we learned on how to do it on a budget. This is kind of the extreme on how to save time. You're rushed. You want your cheese shop to do all the work for you, and you want your artisans to do all the work for you. So what we're going to do is I like to cut our cheeses in these long triangle shapes. And the reason we do that is because you want to taste the cheese from the rind all the way to the core. There's a lot of flavor that develops here. So not only does it look aesthetically pleasing on a tray, it also serves a purpose. So always remember these long triangular shapes.
I love that tip.
And what I like to do when I'm doing a tray for 4 people is I like to cut just a few edges and then have a knife handy so they can cut the rest as you enjoy the cheese. So that's what we've done here. So following the cut, this is the Anabasque that I talked about. This is the Dunbarton Blue. The other thing I like to do is arrange cheeses on a plate. So you start in the 12 o'clock position or the 6 o'clock position and work your way around. So the mildest cheese around to the strongest cheese. And if you are serving a blue cheese, we like to put that on a tray by itself because that flavor of the blue is so strong that it's going to really fatigue the palate. So we try to avoid putting blues directly on the cheese tray. You can put it on a side plate so it becomes something you cleanse your mouth with bread and then enjoy the intensity of that blue cheese. So similar to what you saw on the cheese on a budget, what we're going to do is we're going to use a lot of dried fruits. In the winter months, some of the fresh fruits are not as good as they are in the summer months. So using some good Wisconsin dried cherries, some diced apricots, some mission figs, and again, these wonderful addicting nut cracks made here in Madison, Wisconsin. Once you eat one, you're gonna eat the whole can.
Yes, they're so good.
So we also have, Wisconsin's also known for cranberries, so I have a little bowl of cranberries. And then these are amazing, these corn nuts. If you have not had these corn nuts, they're much bigger than the American corn nuts. These actually come from Spain, so the intensity is a lot better.
Yeah.
And then I have a mix of some of the dried fruits. These are what we call passion fruits, everything from apple, papaya, kiwi, cherries, oranges. These really just accent the tray and really give that texture, color, and depth, especially if you're going into fall creating something special. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to avoid meats. This is a vegetarian tray that I'm building today, but it still does need some savory elements. So what I like to do is, I lost my glove. Is first arrange the cheese on the tray, give it various textures, height, and color, and then just start adding. I think Pleasant Ridge Reserve goes great with cranberries, so I'm going to put the cranberries next to the Pleasant Ridge Reserve. And then corn nuts also work very well with the nuttiness of the sheep's milk cheese, the Anabasque, and the Pleasant Ridge Reserve. So I'm going to put those in the center.
I love your tip about the different heights. You know, like,
Yeah, height and
that's-
texture,
yeah, 'cause
depth, color, all kind
it
of
also
works
just
together.
it adds dimension to the board. Just kind of makes it look interesting.
And one thing I didn't talk about is this Blakesville Creamery, the Lake Breeze. One thing I did is I started a little cut so that your guests know kind of how to cut the next wedge. So, and sometimes cheese does look better when it's presented in its whole. And then we're going to add some more companions. I love these cherries with the Dunbarton Blue. So those are going to go right in the center next to the Dunbarton Blue. And you really want different colors. You can do so many different things when you're building these cheese boards. And there's no really right or wrong way. What we like to say is the cheesemaker did all the work for us and all the producers. So now you can have fun with your creativity building an amazing cheese board.
Oh, I love that.
And don't forget the nut crack. And we like to kind of separate, there are people that have nut allergies, so we always are aware of that. So I always like to put nuts in a cup by themselves. And these are all eco-friendly things that we do sell. And most cheese shops and most stores around the country now carry all this eco-friendly line of accessories to put on your plate. And then mission figs are great. I know you had the fresh mission figs,
yep.
which are amazing. But dried figs also go well with cheese.
And the flavor is probably more pronounced.
It is.
Right?
It's a lot more
Dry.
intense, yes. So fill in the holes. And then we have some wonderful crackers. These are made here in Madison, Wisconsin by Potters. And this is a 6C cracker. And I think 6C will go perfectly with all these cheeses.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps you fill in some of the holes. And this cheese tray will serve anywhere from 4 to 6 people. And then just add some of the passion fruit. This is a big pineapple slice. And then I'm going to add some of these Peruvian peppers. These are little pearlized peppers that look great on a tray. And it also gives you that savory flavor that I'm going to put right next to the Pleasant Ridge Reserve.
Beautiful.
And pickled onions, any pickled vegetables also work great with cheese. So just a little stack next to the Blakesville Creamery. And finishing off with some cranberries.
I love that.
So that's kind of our cheese tray, not on a budget.
All right, well here, let's get them side by side. And then I'll bring mine in. And then maybe we'll show close-ups of them. So here we are, guys. Cheese boards, 2 ways, as we shared. Maybe building a cheese board more on a budget, and when you just want to do something really celebratory and great, this is a great option. I loved your point about when you visit local cheese shops, you can sample different cheeses, you can ask questions. I think take advantage of the fact that these cheesemongers are so knowledgeable, and you can cut off as little or as much as you want. If you could does anyone have any questions while we're here?
The other tip that I want to share is why we wrap our cheese in this paper that we actually have to import from France. It's a 2-ply cheese paper that allows the cheese to breathe. You know, these are expensive cheeses, and if you don't eat it all in one sitting, we want to make sure it's cared for properly in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So cheese shops will give you this 2-ply cheese paper that allows the cheese to breathe. It won't take on the flavors of other things in the refrigerator.
Yep.
So it's definitely worth the investment, especially
Yeah.
if you invested in cheese. Ask your cheese shop for a couple of extra sheets of cheese
storing
paper.
them is super important. We did get a question. Can you go over again? They want to know which cheeses are on the board again.
Yeah, on my board we have Blakesville Creamery from Port Washington, Wisconsin. It's a washed rind goat milk cheese. We also have Pleasant Ridge Reserve. That's a raw milk cow's milk cheese from Uplands Farm. We have a sheep's milk cheese from Landmark Creamery in the Basque style, and that's Anabasque. And then we round it off with a cheddar blue from from Raleigh Cheese House in Shellersburg, Wisconsin, called Dunbarton Blue.
Okay. And then you'll have to help me with mine. This
Yeah,
was,
we have a Little Lucy. This is made by Redhead Creamery in Minnesota. We have Hook's 5-year cheddar. They also have the 15-year cheddar, which
Yep.
is even more intense.
Yes.
Then we have the Pleasant Ridge Reserve. Like we said, Pleasant Ridge Reserve should be on every cheese board in my opinion.
I
and
agree.
then the black pepper halibut.
Okay, wonderful. And yeah, again, guys, keep in mind when you're building cheese boards, I think just have fun with it. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. I loved your tip about different sizes and different heights and just kind of to show dimension. But yeah, just have fun with it. Try to have different elements like we talked about before, the savory, the sweet, the crunchy, the spicy, and I think that's it. Do you have any?
Yeah, no,
closing?
I think that's a beautiful board, and like you said, make the cheese the star. And I
Yes,
think if
yes.
you can't go wrong, if you make the cheese the star, and then you add components to
Yes.
intensify the flavor
Yes.
and complement it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. And if you have any questions, I'll save this video to my feed. If you have any questions about cheese boards, Wisconsin cheeses in particular, let us know.
Thank you.
Happy cheese board building. Bye. Bye, guys.